Welcome to our third session at learning the Great Compassion Mantra. I hope you've all been finding it good to learn in small chunks, certainly the way I did it. So before we start, let's just have a moment of quiet, just to follow our breathing a bit, get into breathing down into the abdomen and try to rest our mind a bit into the present moment. So just do that for a couple of minutes. So deeply breathing in, as deep as you can go, right to the belly, and then gently out again. Relaxing into the present moment. Noticing any areas of tension in your body, just breathing it out, the out breath. And focusing on the heart a little bit, noticing how your heart area feels. And focusing on the mind, the intention towards devotion to Kuan Yin, devotion to the heart of compassion. So what I'd like to do is to chant slowly from the beginning to the line that we finished on last week. So when you're ready, just chant along and then we'll start learning some new lines. Namo ladano dolaye namo liye poluje di shabolaye Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Jaluni Jayanan Sapan La Faye Swadano Dasena Mosi Jili Doi Mangali Paluji Di Shafola Lengtuapa Namo no la jinjir sili mohabando samye sapa tu du ju peng shuyun. Okay. So the next line sounds like this, spoken. Sapasadwo namo pasadwo. Sapasadwo namo pasadwo. Sapasadwo namo pasadwo. Sapasado namo pasado. And chanted. Sapasado namo pasado. Sapasado namo pasado. Sapasado namo pasado. Okay. Now the next line. Namo Pashe. Namo Pashe. Namo Pashe. Namo Pashe. And chanted. Namo Pashe. Namo Pashe. Namo Pashe. So we'll run that line together with the previous line. Sapasado namo pasado namo pashe. Sapasado namo pasado namo pashe. Sapasado namo pasado namo pashe. Okay, next line. Mo fate du. Mo fate du. Mo fate du. Mo fate du. And chanted. Mo fate du. Mo fate du. Mo fate du. So we go back to the first line we've done today and go as far as there. Sapasado namo pasado namo pashe. Mo fate du. Sapasado namo pasado namo pashe. Mo fate du. Sapasado namo pasado namo pashe. Mo fate du. Okay, next line. Da ju tu. Da Ju Tuo. Da Ju Tuo. Da Ju Tuo. In fact, we'll run it together with the next line because it's so short. So let's chant those. Da Ju Tuo Nan. Da Ju Tuo Nan. Da Ju Tuo Nan. Okay, so back to the beginning. Sapa Sado Namo Pasado Namo Pashe Mo Fate Du Da Ju To Nan. Sapa Sado Namo Pasado Namo Pashe Mo Fate Du Da Ju To Nan. Sapa Sado Namo Pasado Namo Pashe Mo Fate Du Da Ju To Nan. Okay, next line. Apalusi. 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 Enchanted. Apalusi. 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 Okay, back to the beginning. Sapa Sado Namo Pasado Namo Pashe Mo Fate Du Da Ju To Nan Apalusi. Sapa Sado Namo Pasado Namo Pashe Mo Fate Du Da Ju To Nan Apalusi. Sapa Sado Namo Pasado Namo Pashe Mo Fate Du Da Ju To Nan Apalusi. Okay, next line. Lujadi. Lujadi, Lujadi, Lujadi. Enchanted. Lujadi, Lujadi, Lujadi. Okay, back to the beginning. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo peshe mo fate du da jutonan pelu silu jadi. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo peshe mo fate du da jutonan pelu silu jadi. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo peshe mo fate du da jutonan pelu silu jadi. Okay. Next line. Jaladi, 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 Jaladi. Enchanted. Jaladi, Jaladi, Jaladi. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo peshe mo fate du da juto nan pelu silu jadi jaladi. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo peshe mo fate du da jutonan pelu silu jadi jaladi. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo peshe mo fate du da tonan apelu silu jadi jaladi. Okay, next line. Yi sili. Yi sili. Yi sili. Yi sili. And chanted. Yi sili. Yi sili. Yi sili. So let's put that together with the other lines. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo pashemo fate duda jutonan apalu sinu jadi jaladi sili. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo pashe mo fate duda jutonan apalusi lu jadi jaladi sili. Sapa sadona mo pasadona mo pashe mo fate duda jutonan apalu silu jadi jaladi sili. So I think we'll make those lines the homework for the next week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 lines. So have a go at learning those, however best you've found to learn them. Maybe a line a day, or going over them as a paragraph and learning how one line hooks into the next line, follows on naturally. So hopefully you've all started to find ways of learning by heart this mantra. We all learn differently. Story from the old days that I'd like to finish with. We last talked about the time when Tanisra and I were learning the Great Compassion Mantra in our Bender, which was also called the Great Compassion Temple, which was a bit pretentious really, because it didn't look like a temple at all. But anyway, we unfortunately had to leave that monastery the following year because we'd outgrown it, and we had to move about, I think, 70 miles north to a place called Amaravati, although it wasn't called Amaravati then, it was called St. Margaret's School. And this was an old disused camp school used for sort of evacuees from the Second World War. And it looked like an army barracks, actually. There was all these huts on stilts, you know, and a big grey playground in the middle. And we just moved in and tried to make the best of it. And it was terrible, actually, because West Sussex, where Chithurst was beautiful. It was idyllic. So we were plunged into this sort of army barracks, and it wasn't heated particularly either. So the first winter was terrible. But anyway, there was a hut there called Hut 17, which was in the nuns section. And this was semi-derelict, this hut. And most of us crowded into other huts. But this one had quite a good layout for a monastery. It had a central corridor and then sort of cell-like rooms going off it. So I decided with one of the other nuns, who was called Chintamani, who had also learnt the Great Compassion Mantra, we decided that we were going to move into Hut 17 and risk it. So we moved in. There was one room down at the far end of the corridor, looked like a tramp had been staying in there or something. It was like full of like old cardboard boxes and kind of mangy bits of carpet and everything. It was a nasty space, actually. So we started staying in there, and we noticed that strange things started happening. I remember one day as I was resting, I felt like something was sitting on my chest and sort of pushing me down, you know, like, oh God. So I talked to Chintamani. I said, did you ever notice that? And she says, yeah, it's and it happened once or twice. And we started thinking, well, maybe there's some weird energy around here, you know, something that, I don't know, it felt a bit odd. So we had this idea. It was the Great Compassion Mantra can actually be used for what they call clearing, or sort of clearing spaces that have had sort of disturbed things happening there, or difficult things happening there. So we actually decided to try and do some ceremonies. So we lit candles and incense and had chanting sessions to sort of fill the rooms with the energy of this wonderful mantra. And we did quite a lot of this. And I must say, after a while, it really did start to change things. I felt that the energies started moving there. You know, whether you believe in spirits or ghosts, it doesn't really matter. There was just a real sense that a new intentional energy field was going into that building. And so you'll be pleased to hear that it didn't stay as Hut 17 for long. We actually renamed it Lotus House. Mm-hmm. And it was insulated duly, and you know, was turned into a good place to live, actually, for us. But I'll never forget that first few weeks, really. It was quite a rum do, as they say in Yorkshire. But and I've had other experiences of using the mantra in that way, and I think it's a good thing to be able to do. So
I remember that ghost.
You remember it, do you, Tanisra?
Yeah.
Gosh.
He used to sit, and in fact, Master Wa talks about a ghost that sits on you.
Yeah, it sort of like squashes you down.
Yeah, it crushes you, yeah.
That's right, it's most unpleasant.
Most unpleasant. And
yeah.
We'll whip out the Great Compassion Mantra at that moment.
That's it, yeah, it's so useful.
Yeah. There was also the ghost of the nun there, do you remember?
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's because it was called Covetous Corner down the road, because it was a monastery once, and it had the double hedge that the nuns in the medieval times, they'd walk down through the double hedge to the church at St. Great Gadsden.
Yeah.
And then one of them had a lover, and then they bricked them up.
Yeah.
And that house, I mean, sorry, I mean, it's pretty rough. And then there was the nun was wandering around too. So there was a few ghosts there.
That's right. Yeah. It was an interesting place, wasn't it?
It was pretty heavy.
Wow. Yeah. Really very, very scatty, negative, weird, distressed energy there, I'd say. Yeah.
And then I remember it was so cold. We had those little, like those Japanese little boxes that you put a bit of charcoal in. Yeah. And you sort of hold it for dear life.
Yeah.
And morning sitting and stick it against your hara.
Yeah.
Almost did nothing, but it sort of like, you know, gave you the feeling that you were warming up.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? Gosh. So, well, I think I've come to the end of what I'm going to say for today. I don't know. Yeah, shall we just finish off with a dedication? So dedicate the goodness and merit of what we've done today, and our intention to learn great compassion mantra for the sake of all beings.